made a point of emphasizing the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. You got to be we got to be able to get first downs offensively. We got to be able to get first downs. We got to be able to control the time of possession to the best of our ability. You know, again through run, play, action. We got to be able to convert on third downs. You know, that's been our Achilles' heels. We know, but you know, getting the offense, getting the ball in our offense's hands and keeping it is, you know, that's going to have to be something that we got to be able to do. Got to be able to accomplish that.
Protection problems have sometimes limited your ability to get down the field. How much of a challenge does Montre Moore and the rest of this A&M defense present?
Well, you know, their blitz packages are very exotic. You know, they do a lot of three down. You know, they do a lot of three downs. They do a lot of different problematic pressures. So we're going to have to be very, very good at whether we're going to, you know, protect with 6, protect with 7. But we know we got to protect the quarterback. That's been a big point of concern for us, but for us to be able to survive and really, you know, convert on third downs, you know, we've got to, you know, that's where we've got to tremendously improve.
Gene, when you look at the big picture, obviously the 1-6 start and everything that comes with that, but also the off-the-field things you've had to go through both this summer and now. How are you doing, first of all? But also, can you just talk about the difficulty of the year for you?
For me personally, you know, I'm the leader of the program. I'm the leader of Auburn football, so that's my job. You know, your jobs aren't easy sometimes. What you guys do, my job's not easy sometimes. What I do, but I love my job and I love being a part of Auburn, and it's all my responsibility. Have there been difficult times? Of course there have. But there have been some great times, absolutely too. So, you know, we don't look at the past and the woe is me, and you know, you got to take one day at a time. You got to keep moving forward, and so that's the name of the game for me. And I've got a lot of faith in these young guys, and I've got a lot of faith in Auburn, and I've got a lot of faith in our coaches, and we got to keep plugging along. And we can't look back at what things happened in the past that didn't just unfold exactly the way we wanted them to. You just got to keep working every day, and that's my responsibility to make sure that that's what happens, and that is exactly what's going to happen.
Gene Clinton came up before you did, and he seemed to be pretty positive, seemed to be much more mature than he was a year ago. Is he better equipped to handle a situation like this than maybe he was a year ago?
I don't think there's any question. I'm not sure exactly what he said, and I'm not sure exactly how all that went, but I know this, as a young man and where he is, I think he's grown a lot. And, you know, he's a guy that, you know, is really just trying to become a better football player, to be honest with you. And that's really what that's really where he's trying to, you know, work to every day in practice for the last 2 and 3 weeks of really seeing a guy come on and really, you know, try to be, you know, just try to be an improved player. So it's very good to see, but I don't think there's any question he's grown up a tremendous amount in the last year.
Gene, there was no depth chart yet this week. Is there any decision on the quarterback position?
No, you know, again, we're gonna go into the week and we're gonna let it unfold like the last 2 have. And again, I mean, we got to look at health of guys and things of that nature too. So it's going in. It'll be the same. You know, we'll go ahead and look at it starting today and see where it ends up by Thursday.
Any injury update on guys like Pete Ford?
You know, the injury updates really are pretty similar to what I said, you know, Sunday. Let me, you know, I do want to say this about Philip Lutzenkirchen, and it's really, you know, in our team meeting Sunday, you know, I said to the team, you know, this is a guy that, you know, he's crushed right now. He's put so much into Auburn and came back, and you know, he's really tried to play all year with just, you know, a painful, you know, kind of a painful injury right now that, you know, he was pushing through and he was pushing through and he was pushing through, and, you know, he just couldn't do it anymore. And, you know, he's crushed when, you know, you have 5 weeks left in the season and then all of a sudden, you know, your season's over. And again, he's gonna have to have surgery this week. It's gonna be a long rehab process for him. But I do want to say that I'm very proud of him and trying to push through in a year that was tough for him physically. Never gave up. He went till he couldn't. He went till he gave out. Couldn't go anymore. I got a high level of respect for any young guy that does that, and he certainly did that. But to speak of the rest of the injuries, I think we're pretty much in the same spot that we were. The other day, D. Ford is a work in progress. Several others are too. So we'll continue to monitor that as the week goes on.
With Lutz, do you anticipate him having any special role more so than, you know, just an injured player as far as?
Well, we definitely want him to be around all the time, and you know, again, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like after he gets his surgery. But he's part of this football team. He's part of this family. He's been a great contributor to us since he got here, since he was a true freshman. You know, what a career he's had here. So he's going to, you know, he's always going to go down, you know, here in the record books as a guy that's an Auburn man and been very productive. So we want and expect him to be around here all the time, and that's who he is. He'll be here he'll be here and for meetings. He'll be here for practice. That's just who he is.
Gene, he has seemingly tried to use his popularity to really do a lot of things away from football. Could you just talk about that and what you see of that?
I think that's the mark of the man. You know, I just think that's, you know, we try to get our guys here to understand the importance of being able to give back to other people. And, you know, you can go back to, you know, cancer patients that probably, I don't know, any of you know anything about it or you don't, but cancer patients is behind the scenes. He really tries to, you know, encourage and embrace and meet with and talk with. And I mean, that's just one small example, but he's done that since he's been here. And that means a lot because that's a sense of responsibility that all of our guys have, whether they know it or not. Some do more than others, but he's certainly one that he always has done that.
This Philip guy could play in the NFL, you think?
Yes, I think there's no question that he's, it's going to be challenging how these next 5 or 6 months unfold, depending on how his injury and how the recovery process is for his injury. But, you know, I think that's part of his pain too, you know, and again, I think that, you know, he's a guy that certainly has that opportunity. He'll take advantage of it the best way he can, but, you know, I'm sure that's weighing heavy on him as well.